Hello everyone, Genki here, and today we're taking on Pokemon Scarlet with only Tandemaus. Tandemaus is a normal type Pokemon that is composed of 2 mice. They have a 305 base stat total. That's 5 points less than a first form starter. Their stats for the most part are well rounded, except for their phenomenal speed. We will be focusing on a physical set, as that is where Tandemaus gets its best moves. One of those moves being Population Bomb, or Pop Bomb for short, a move unique to Tandemaus and Mousehold. It is a multi-hit move that can hit up to 10 times. However, it comes with questionable accuracy and a chance to only hit once. Pop Bomb is actually one of the 3 moves in Pokemon where the accuracy of successive hits is independent of the first one. Here's the rough estimate of the accuracy I took off Wikipedia. Now, when it comes to type coverage, while Tandemaus does get Bullet Seed and Play Rough by level up, most of it is through TMs. We got some fighting moves and Dig for those stubborn steel types, Shadow Claw for ghost types, and Aerial Ace for fighting types, until we get access to Play Rough. With all that laid out, let's go over the rules. I can only use Tandemaus in battle. No items in battle, only held items outside of combat are allowed. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin. Tandemaus luckily can be caught at the beginning of the game. It just requires being in the tutorial. You see, the trail up to the Pokemon League, despite being gated, is open to the player from the start. However, the game does not allow you to enter until after you get access to Koraidon or Miraidon. With the tutorial complete, we can catch ourselves a Tandemaus. I named them the Wonder Twins. Guess my age from that reference. Please don't. They are hardy nature, so neutral stat gains, with the runaway ability. Abilities for the most part will be useless for this challenge, considering the other ability was Pickup, which is useless for a challenge run, since the Wonder Twins will be holding a held item for the entire run. Speaking of which, I gave the Wonder Twins a Silk Scarf to boost their normal type moves, before heading west out of Mezagoza. We then went around defeating a bunch of trainers, in order to get the TM for Aerial Ace from the Pokemon League rep. We then took on the Bug Gym. At level 13, Aerial Ace did less than half the Nimble. Nimble has Double Kick, which did a quarter with 1 hit, but then the second one got a crit. This was not looking good. We were still under leveled though, so I did a raid for some EXP candies, giving the Wonder Twins access to double hit before then heading east of Mezagoza. We were going to need to do this anyway, so I decided to start now. This area is full of Shinxes and Makuhitas, who both give attack EVs. At first I did forget, but after a few Shinxes, I went back into town and bought the Power Bracer to boost the attack EV gains the Wonder Twins received. We did this until the Wonder Twins hit level 16. With Terra and the Silk Scarf, Double Hit was actually stronger than our super effective Aerial Ace, taking out Nimble in one shot. We did try Aerial Ace on Tarantula, but it survived on a quarter. This allowed it to do some damage with Bug Bite, before we could take it out. Last was Teddiursa. Double Hit took Teddiursa to under half. Teddiursa then went for Fury Cutter, but the Wonder Twins managed to live the hit with a quarter, taking out Teddiursa the next turn, giving us our first badge. Since our first Titan resists normal moves, I originally planned on taking on the Grass Gym first, but then we got the Wonder Twins to level 18, where they learned Bullet Seed. I then decided to at least see how the damage looked. A 3-hit Bullet Seed took Cloth to under half. This did activate Cloth's Anger Shell, but then it wasted its turn on block. It did now outspeed, its Vice Grip doing over a third. However, another 3 hits of Bullet Seed finished off Cloth's first phase. Against phase 2, the Wonder Twins initially got a 2-hit Bullet Seed. Thankfully, Cloth decided to attack Arven's shoulder. The Wonder Twins then got a phenomenal 4-hit Bullet Seed, taking Cloth to a quarter, which then activated its Anger Shell. Cloth then again attacked Shelter, this time with a crit Rock Smash, as Shelter lowered Cloth's defense further with Leer. Cloth then went for Rock Tomb, taking out Shelter, as 2 more hits of Bullet Seed finished off Cloth. Okay, now let's face the Grass Gym. At level 23, Double Hit one-shot Petalil and Smoliv. Brassies' A, Sudowoodo though, was not that easy. We started with Super Fang, taking Sudowoodo straight to half. Sudowoodo then went for Trailblaze, boosting its speed. However, the Wonder Twins were still faster, taking Sudowoodo to a sliver with Double Hit. Sudowoodo then went for a second Trailblaze, making itself now +2 in speed. However, despite this, the Wonder Twins were still faster, taking out Sudowoodo for our second badge. Time to head back west, to take on our next Titan, Bombardier. Bombardier went first and used Rock Throw. taking the Wonder Twins to almost half, but then Double Hit took Bombardier to under half. The next turn, Bombardier went for its stronger pluck, but the Wonder Twins survived, taking out Bombardier. Bombardier's two phases are connected. This meant the Wonder Twins were now facing Phase 2 Bombardier at only 6 HP, which led to them going down. I decided to make my way to South Province Area 5. By taking out 7 trainers, we could get the Eviolite, a held item that gives unevolved Pokemon a 50% boost to their defense and special defense. This allowed the Wonder Twins to make it through Bombardier's first phase with almost half health, just to be taken to red half after a rock throw. Double Hit did take Bombardier to almost half, but then Arven's Knockley of course wasted his turn on Rock Polish. Thankfully, Bombardier the next turn attacked Knockley, as Double Hit took Bombardier into the red. Knockley then set up its second Rock Polish, which then caused it to go first the next turn, and finish off Bombardier with Smackdown. With Bombardier being defeated, we can now drop down and pick up the TM for Shadow Claw. We then finished taking out the trainers in the area, so we could get the Clear Amulet. The Clear Amulet, when held, protects a Pokemon from stat drops. We needed this because next was the Team Star Dark Base. The Wonder Twins were now level 27, so they had access to Play Rough. However, because of Play Rough's attack drop, having a chance to activate Pawniard's Defiant, we went for Dig instead. It took out Pawniard in 2 hits, leaving the Wonder Twins at green health for Giacomo Starmobile, whose Intimidate is the reason for the Clear Amulet. It went first. It took the Wonder Twins to almost a third, as our super effective Play Rough did less than a quarter. Oh. We only got the Starmobile to half before going down. Using EXP candies, I got the Wonder Twins to level 30. This made Pawniard a one-shot. Against the Starmobile, it decided to go for Metal Sound, which of course failed, as Play Rough now did a third. The Starmobile's Wicked Torque also did almost a third. However, because of the first turn blunder, the Wonder Twins were able to take out the Starmobile first. Next up was the town of Levencia, where we technically had our first battle with Nemona. Rockruff and Palming were one-shots with Dig. This left only Quaxwell. Double Hit did over half, but then Quaxwell wasted his turn on Workup, allowing the Wonder Twins to get the KO the next turn. Onto the Electric Gym. Walter was a one-shot with Double Hit. This brought up Bellybolt, who survived Dig at half. It sparked into the third, and paralyzed the Wonder Twins. This made Bellybolt faster, taking the Wonder Twins to yellow health before going down. Next up was Luxio, who I forgot had Intimidate. We switched to the Clear Amulet from the Eviolite, but this made Bellybolt spark do over half to the Wonder Twins. I decided to go back to grinding, this time with the goal of maxing out the Wonder Twins' attack stat. We also did some raids to get the Wonder Twins to level 33. Bellybolt was still 2 KO, but the Wonder Twins could now survive Spark with green health. Also, we finally for once did not get paralyzed, allowing the Wonder Twins to take out Bellybolt without taking any more damage. With no Intimidate drop, Luxio was a one-shot with Dig, leaving only Iono's ace, Mismagius. It went first and used Confuse Ray. However, the Wonder Twins did not hit themselves, and attacked Mismagius with Double Hit, taking it straight to red health. Mismagius then for the first time ever used Charge Beam, which the Wonder Twins barely survived, allowing them to get the win with Bullet Seed. I decided to try out the Team Star Firebase next. Dig did a third to Torkoal, but then its Flame Wheel did more. The Wonder Twins took out Torkoal thanks to their speed, but then just went down to melee Starmobile. I then decided to at least try our next Titan, but all of our moves were either resisted or had no effect. At least we got Earthworm down to a third using only Double Hit. This left only our next gym. However, I first decided to take out some trainers in each province area 2, in order to finally pick up the loaded dice. This item was made for Tandemaus and Mousehold. When held, it guarantees at least 4 hits on multi-hit moves like Bullet Seed, which will be needed for our battle against the Water Gym. Kofu's lead Veluza went down to a full 5-hit Bullet Seed. His Voltrio outsped the Wonder Twins, doing a quarter with Headbutt, but they went down to a 3-hit Bullet Seed. Last was Carbonable. A 4-hit Bullet Seed only did half. This allowed Carbonable to practically one-shot the Wonder Twins' Rock Smash. And it wasn't even a crit either. At level 40, holding the Eviolite, the Wonder Twins only got a 3-hit Bullet Seed against Veluza, leading to them getting hit by Aqua Cutter before taking out Veluza. Voltrio still outsped the Wonder Twins, but were now a 2-hit KO. Against Carbonable, the Wonder Twins managed to pull off a 5-hit Bullet Seed. However, Carbonable survived the attack on a sliver. Thankfully, the Wonder Twins were holding Eviolite, allowing them to survive Rock Smash and Red Health, giving us the win against our 4th gym. Let's try the Fire Base again. Out of pure luck, it was raining when we entered the area. This caused Torkoal's Drought to fail, and also for Torkoal to switch to Clear Smog. It was a 2-hit KO with Dig, so the Wonder Twins did get hit once before taking out Torkoal. The rain didn't look like it had stopped for the Starmobile, however its effects were still in play. This I think caused the Starmobile to go for Screech, as we went for Dig, doing a third. Despite being -2 in defense, the Starmobile is blazing torque to less than a quarter, leading to us getting an easy win with 3 hits at Dig. Okay, let's see how Earthworm looks. Double Hit was not doing a 5th. Earthworm then missed its first Iron Tail. It did land its second after a headbutt, but with the Wonder Twins still at half, they easily took out Earthworm's first phase. On to phase 2. Double Hit was doing half the damage it was in the first phase. Earthworm did waste his first turn on Sandstorm, as Arven's Toadstool used Grass Knot, doing about the same amount of damage as us. We then missed our double hit, as Earthworm attacked Toadstool, getting a crit. Toadstool then missed its attack. It went down the next turn. This was looking dicey, but Earthworm then only used Iron Tail once, leading to us getting a very narrow victory with the Wonder Twins in Red Health. Okay, we're making good progress. I decided next to get the Wonder Twins to level 46 to learn Pop Bomb. This was because the normal gem was next. When it came to Pop Bomb and Loaded Dice, it treats it almost like a normal multi-hit move. It guarantees 4 hits with a higher chance of hitting bigger numbers. Against Kamala, we managed the one-shot with a 5-hit Pop Bomb. We then missed Pop Bomb against the Dunsparce. Okay, it guarantees 4 hits if it lands. This allowed the Dunsparce to use Hyper Drill, taking the Wonder Twins to under half. We then landed our Pop Bomb the next turn, taking out the Dunsparce with 7 hits. Last was Larry's ace, Staraptor. It has Intimidate. It also outsped, taking out the Wonder Twins with Facade. At level 50, Pop Bomb was now a 4 KO on Kamala. This time, we did not miss our Pop Bomb against the Dunsparce, who was still a 7-hit KO. This left us in full health with Staraptor. This time, the Wonder Twins were first, and we got lucky, as we got an 8-hit Pop Bomb, one-shotting Staraptor. With 5 badges, we were now forced into a battle with Nimona. Her Lycanroc went first, and did a quarter with Bite, but it was a one-shot with a 4-hit Bullet Seed. We went for a Pop Bomb against Nimona's Gumi and Pomo, who were both one-shots with 3-hit Pop Bombs. Last was Quaquaval. The Wonder Twins surprisingly outsped it, and took it out with an 8-hit Pop Bomb. I decided to next try out our 4th Titan, Great Tusk. Let me show you how that went. With that a bust, I went and challenged the Team Star Poison Base. Atticus' lead Skuntank went down to a 5-hit Pop Bomb. We then missed Pop Bomb against Muck, causing the Wonder Twins to take some damage from Sludge Wave. Muck also went down to a 5-hit Pop Bomb. For Reverum, we changed to Dig. Since Pop Bomb was resisted, it was a one-shot. Last was Atticus' Starmobile. It went first. It took the Wonder Twins to a third with Noxious Torque. We then took the Starmobile to under half with a 7-hit Pop Bomb. A second Noxious Torque then left the Wonder Twins at only 2 HP, and Poison, but that didn't matter, as a 5-hit Pop Bomb gives us the win. On to the Ghost Gem. For this battle, I had the Wonder Twins learn Shadow Claw. Mimikyu and Banette both led with Shadow Sneaks for some reason, taking out Magikarp and doing nothing to the Wonder Twins. We then went for Shadow Claw into Banette, taking it to Red Health. Because the Wonder Twins were terrestrialized, we then got an Omni Boost. Banette then got out a Sucker Punch before going down to another Shadow Claw. Mimikyu was now going for Slash, but it was pretty weak. Next on Rhyme's team was Houndstone. Taking out Banette gave the Wonder Twins another attack boost, allowing them to one-shot Houndstone, and Rhyme's Ace Toxicity. All that was left was Mimikyu, who required 2 hits because of its ability. With now 6 badges, we can buy bottle caps from the Delibird Express. I bought 5. We could then use those bottle caps to hyper train the Wonder Twins, maxing out their IVs for everything besides special attack. Okay, now let's try Great Tusk. Holding the EV Light, we only got a 2-hit Bullet Seed, as Great Tusk went for Rapid Spin, boosting its speed. It now went first, using another Rapid Spin, this one getting a crit, taking the Wonder Twins to half. The Wonder Twins then got a 3-hit Bullet Seed, taking Great Tusk to half. Great Tusk for some reason decided to use Knockoff, leaving the Wonder Twins on a quarter. This gave them the chance to go for one last bullet seed, landing 4 hits, ending Great Tusk's first phase. For phase 2, I decided to have the Wonder Twins use Pop Bomb, getting it 6 hits and doing almost a quarter. Great Tusk then went for Brick Break on Arvin's Scavillain, taking it to yellow health as it used Scary Face. The Wonder Twins then got a 10-hit Pop Bomb, taking Great Tusk to a third. They're still holding Eviolite, by the way. Scavillain's Razor Leaf then took Great Tusk to under a quarter. Great Tusk decided to use Rapid Spin, however at still -1 speed, the Wonder Twins still went first, finishing off Great Tusk with a 6-hit Pop Bomb. Our 7th gym was next. However, with 6 badges, we have another battle of Nemona, and unlike the last, this one was annoying. On our first attempt, Lycanroc did over half of the Wonder Twins' health with Rock Slide, but thankfully went down to a 4-hit Bullet Seed. The Wonder Twins were holding the Clear Amulet to avoid Sand Attack. Sliggoo went down to a 4-hit Pop Bomb. Palmont went down to a 5-hit. However, then Quaquaval came out, and we only got a 2-hit Pop Bomb, causing the Wonder Twins to go down. We tried switching to the Eviolite to mitigate some damage, but then that just made Lycanroc go for Sand Attack, lowering the accuracy of Pop Bomb, which, remind you, does an accuracy check for every hit. We eventually got this attempt, where Lycanroc tried to Sand Attack the Wonder Twins while they were holding the Clear Amulet. We did only get a 2-hit Pop Bomb against Sliggoo, causing us to take some damage. However, we then took out Palmont just fine, getting us back to Quaquaval. Against the Feisty Chicken, we got lucky and got a crit, leading to us getting the win with a 6-hit Pop Bomb. Onto the Psychic Gym. While holding the loaded dice, we got a 6-hit Pop Bomb against Farigiraf, one-shotting it. Gardevoir only needed a 4-hit Pop Bomb, while Espraffa needed a 5-hit Pop Bomb. This left us at full health for Tulip's ace, Florges, who went down to a 6-hit Pop Bomb. Last was the Ice Gym. Frostwife went down to a 5-hit Pop Bomb. We then got a 7-hit Pop Bomb against Beardick, taking it out. We only got a 4-hit Pop Bomb against the Titan, doing less than half, as the Titan's Ice Spinner did exactly half. We took out the Titan with a 5-hit Pop Bomb. Last was Grisha's ace, Altaria. We got super lucky, as Pop Bomb got in 8 hits, taking out Altaria in one go. With all 8 badges, onto our Fallen Titan. Against Dondozo, a 4-hit Bullet Seed did less than a third. Dondozo went for Water Pulse, confusing the Wonder Twins. Thankfully, they did not hit themselves, as we switched to Pop Bomb, getting 9 hits, taking out Phase 1 Dondozo. For Phase 2, we once again went for Pop Bomb. This time, a 9-hit combo did less than half. Dondozo went for Water Pulse again, but this time did not get the confusion, as Arvin's Greedent went for Tail Whip. This allowed our Pop Bomb to do more damage, getting Dondozo to red health with a 7-hit combo. Dondozo did go for Body Slam, taking the Wonder Twins to a quarter, as Greedent's takedown took Dondozo to a literal sliver. We finished off Dondozo the next turn. On to Tatsugiri. Pop Bomb was doing about the same amount of damage as it was to Dondozo. However, we only got 6 hits this time, doing a third to Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri then went for Dragon Pulse, taking the Wonder Twins straight to red health. Greedent then missed his takedown. A 5-hit Pop Bomb took Tatsugiri to under half, as Tatsugiri this time attacked Greedent, taking it to yellow health. Thankfully, Greedent landed his takedown this time, taking Tatsugiri to under a quarter, allowing the Wonder Twins to finish it off. Next up was Team Star. However, I decided to first get the Wonder Twins some vitamins. Their attack is maxed, so I decided to get them some HP up and Carbos for speed. After the Dragon Pulse from Tatsugiri, I decided the Wonder Twins having more bulk could help us a lot, though it wasn't that much help against the Team Star Fairy base. Ortega's lead Azumarill survived a 5-hit Bullet Seed in red health, allowing it to go for Aqua Tail, doing over half to the Wonder Twins. Against Wigglytuff, we switched to Pop Bomb, getting a 6-hit combo, taking it out. We then got an 8-hit Pop Bomb against Dash Bun, taking it out, leaving only Ortega Starmbill, who outsped and took out the Wonder Twins. I decided to do some level grinding. However, Ortega's Dash Bun decided to start using Babyliss Eyes, a priority move that lowers the target's attack. Usually I use the Clear Amulet to negate it, but we need the loaded dice in order to take out Ortega's Pokemon without receiving damage. I was thinking I might have to level up the Wonder Twins to like level 70. However, we then got this attempt at level 63. We switched to Pop Bomb for Azumarill, taking it out in 6 hits. Wigglytuff was now a 5-hit KO with Pop Bomb. Dash Bun in this attempt did not use Babyliss Eyes, as 7 hits of Pop Bomb took it out. The Starbill went for its weaker Steel Roller, doing only a scratch, as an 8-hit Pop Bomb took it to half. The Starbill then went for Confuse Ray, but it was pointless, as the Wonder Twins landed a 9-hit Pop Bomb, finishing off the Starbill. The Fighting Base was next, so I decided to follow through with my earlier plan and get the Wonder Twins to level 70. While we do that, I have an announcement. I made YouTube partner. This June will be my 5th anniversary of doing YouTube videos. While I cannot make videos as quickly as I want to, due to my IRL obligations, I am thankfully I was able to get to this point. I still have a long way to go before I can receive ad revenue from YouTube. However, I did open memberships for only $1 USD. For right now, memberships are going to include your name in the video and access to some custom emotes. Thank you to everyone who has supported my YouTube journey this far. Now let's see how fucked the Wonder Twins are going to be against Airy. Toxicroak was a 5-hit KO with Pop Bomb. We then missed our Pop Bomb against Passimian, who proceeded to one-shot the Wonder Twins in close combat. I cannot say I did not see that coming. When we land our Pop Bomb, Passimian is a 7-hit KO. But then Airy sends out Annihilate. We have both Shadow Claw and Play Rough, but Annihilate survives both. However, Annihilate then used Fire Punch for some reason, allowing the Wonder Twins to finish it off. Next was Lucario. While it resists Pop Bomb, it was still our strongest move. We did get a crit, helping us take out Lucario with the 8-hit Pop Bomb. Last was the Airy Starbill. The Wonder Twins surprisingly outsped, but they missed their Pop Bomb, as the Starbill set up Shift Gear. This allowed to outspeed the next turn, and take out the Wonder Twins from 3/4 health. For our best chance, I decided that the Wonder Twins needed to be strong enough to one-shot Annihilate. We got lucky with the Fire Punch, but Annihilate still can and will use close combat. At level 90, I decided to swap out the loaded dice for the Eviolite. Toxicroak was a 3-hit KO with Pop Bomb. Passimian was a 5-hit KO with Pop Bomb. Annihilate was a one-shot with Play Rough. However, it was just a range and not guaranteed. For Lucario, we had to go back to Pop Bomb, as we needed a 6-hit combo to take it out. Against the Starbill, we went for Play Rough, but it did only half. However, the Starbill has stamina, meaning it gets a defense boost every time we hit it. This meant the Starbill was going to need at least 3 hits to take out. At level 91, we get good RNG and make it to the Starbill on full health. As usual, after our Play Rough, the Starbill set up Shift Gear. However, despite now outspeeding, the Starbill went for a second Shift Gear, as Play Rough took the Starbill to under a quarter. With now +2 attack, the Starbill went for Combat Torque. However, the Wonder Twins lived the hit with just below half, finishing off the Starbill with one final Play Rough. Okay, time for the Elite Four. Whiscash went down to 2 hits of Bullet Seed, but then Rika sent out Camerupt, who was neutral to Bullet Seed. For it, we used Pop Bomb, taking the Fat Camel out in 3 hits. Next out was Donphan, who survived 4 hits of Bullet Seed on Sliver. I'm not sure if it was because of Sturdy or not. The Wonder Twins survived Donphan's Earthquake and Green Health. We then, for the first time ever, outsped Rika's Dark Trio, taking it out with a 2-hit Bullet Seed. This left only Rika's ace, Clodsire, who went down 4 hits of Bullet Seed. Next was Poppy. We went for Pop Bomb against Carparaja, getting 6 hits, taking the elephant to a quarter. However, Carparaja then did half of the Wonder Twins' health in one Heavy Slam. After Carparaja came Corviknight. 7 hits of Pop Bomb with 2 crits took Corviknight to a quarter. This allowed it to set up Iron Defense, which then allowed it to survive a 5-hit Pop Bomb and take out the Wonder Twins. I decided to reteach the Wonder Twins Dig over Bullet Seed. The attack one-shots Carparaja, so the Wonder Twins were now in full health for Corviknight. Since Corviknight is a bird, we had to use Pop Bomb. The Wonder Twins got a 9-hit combo, taking Corviknight to red health. Corviknight then set up his usual Iron Defense, but this was not enough, as a 3-hit Pop Bomb finished it off. Poppy then sent out Bronzong, who has Levitate. It was 2K with Shadow Claw, so the Wonder Twins did get hit by Iron Head, which got a crit. After Bronzong was Magnezone, who has Sturdy. I first had the Wonder Twins use Shadow Claw to break the Sturdy, as Magnezone wasted his turn on Light Screen. We then finished it off with Dig. Last was Poppy's ace Tinkaton. We went for Dig, dodging Gigaton Hammer, but the attack only left Tinkaton to red health. Tinkaton then went for Brick Break, taking the Wonder Twins down to a third. We finished off Tinkaton with Shadow Claw. On to Larry. Tropius went down the 4 hits of Pop Bomb, but then Staraptor came out, lowering the Wonder Twins' attack with Intimidate. Despite the drop, Director went down to 5 hits of Pop Bomb. Altaria was looking like it could be an issue, but then we got a crit, making Altaria a 5-hit KO. We also got a crit against Oricorio, making it a 4-hit KO. Will we get a crit against Larry's Ace Flamingo? No, but it didn't matter, as we got a 7-hit Pop Bomb, taking it out. Last on the Elite Four was Hassel. The Wonder Twins once again surprised me by outspeeding Norvern, one-shotting the dragon with Play Rough. Hassel then sent out Dragalge, who we took out with Dig. Thankfully no Poison Touch. Flapple and Haxorus were both in also one-shots with Play Rough. This left the Wonder Twins at full health for Hassel's ace, Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur survived Play Rough at her half. This allowed it to go for Glaive Rush, which the Wonder Twins survived in red health, getting the KO with a second Play Rough. Finally, it's time for Gita. For this battle, we had to use the Eviolite. Gita's Espathar was a 4-hit KO Pop Bomb, but then Avalugg came out. Thankfully, we got a 9-hit Pop Bomb, taking out Avalugg without the Wonder Twins taking damage. Gita then sent out King Gambit. We went for Dig, but King Gambit survived with just under half health. This allowed it to use Kowtow Cleave, which only did a third. We took out King Gambit with another Dig. We then took out Gogo with a 5-hit Pop Bomb. Veluza survived Shadow Claw on the red, and took the Wonder Twins down to half with Liquidation, but we just took it out the next turn, leaving only Gita's ace, Glamora. We went for Dig, but Glamora survived the hit on a quarter. Glamora then used Terra Blast, but the Wonder Twins survived the hit in red health, getting the win with one more Dig. With the rank of Champion achieved, we had one last battle with Nemona. Lakarok was a one-shot with Dig. Nemona then sent out Palmond, who did some chip damage with Quick Attack but was also a one-shot with Dig. Earthworm, however, is immune to Dig, so we had to use Pop Bomb. We only got 4 hits, allowing Earthworm to use Body Press, taking the Wonder Twins straight to a quarter. We still have the Eviolite if this did not make that obvious. The Wonder Twins then got extremely lucky, getting a 10-hit Pop Bomb, barely taking out Earthworm. Nemona then sent out Dunsparce, who went down to a 6-hit Pop Bomb. Against Goodra though, we went for Play Rough, one-shotting it. Last was Quackleval, who went down to a 6-hit Pop Bomb. That's one story done. Next is Director Clavel. Against Rangaroo, we went for Pop Bomb, taking it out in 5 hits. This brought out Obama Snow. The Snow not helping its defense much, as a 6-hit Pop Bomb took it out. Clavel then brought out Gyarados, who has Intimidate. It also went down in 6 hits. Next was Amoonguss, who has caused multiple resets thanks to its Effect Spore ability. We went for Shadow Claw, as it used Toxic. This allowed us to safely go for Pop Bomb and take out Amoonguss. Only Brick Brain strats here at youtube.com/@SabbyGenki. Next was Poltergeist. It survived Shadow Claw. This allowed it to go for Shell Smash to boost its stats, though its Sucker Punch then only took the Wonder Twins under half, as we finished it off. Our Poisoning then took the Wonder Twins into the red, as Clavel brought out his ace, Skeledirge. Skeledirge loses its Ghost typing when terrestrialized, allowing the Wonder Twins to use Pop Bomb, though it did take 9 hits with 1 crit to take out Skeledirge. On to Penny. To avoid the Wonder Twins' attack being lowered to Oblivion with Baby Doll Eyes, I had them hold the Clear Amulet. This also let us get in a free Play Rough, which Umbreon survived. We took it out with Pop Bomb. Flareon went down to a single Dig. Vaporeon went down to a 5-hit Pop Bomb. Jolteon went down to Dig. Leafeon went down to a 6-hit Pop Bomb. However, we then only got a 3-hit Pop Bomb against Sylveon, taking it to under half. Sylveon then went for Moonblast, taking the Wonder Twins to just above half health. We took out Sylveon with our 100 accuracy Shadow Claw. That's 2 stories done. Last is Arven. Gradient was only 4-hit KO with Pop Bomb. Arven then sent out Garganacl, who survived Dig at half. Thankfully, its Earthquake only did a quarter. We took out Garganacl with a 6-hit Pop Bomb. Next was Toadscruel, who went down to a 4-hit Pop Bomb. Scavillain surprisingly only needed a 3-hit Pop Bomb. Cloyster was a little tougher though, needing a 6-hit Pop Bomb. This left only Arven's ace, Mabostiff, who has Intimidate. We went for Play Rough, but it did less than half. Mabostiff then went for Crunch, which got a crit, taking the Wonder Twins to only 14 HP. We switched to Pop Bomb, which thankfully landed, finishing off Mabostiff in 4 hits. Man, that was close. With all the stories done, we can make our way down to Area 0, where we had to battle Asada. Slithering went down to a 5-hit pop bomb. This brought out Screamtail, who has Drain Punch, but we managed to get a 7-hit pop bomb and take it out. Next was Brute Bonnet, who we also took out with a 7-hit pop bomb. Sada then sent out Fluttermane. It went first, and used Thunderbolt, doing a third, but we managed to one-shot it with Shadow Claw. We went for Dig against Sandy Shocks, but it lived the hit, taking the Wonder Twins to a quarter with Earth Power. We took it out with Shadow Claw. Last was Roaring Moon, who we one-shot with Play Rough. We beat Pokemon Scarlet with only Tandemaus. That was a fun run. It was very gimmicky though, but I can see why those Tandemaus are so strong. Thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya.